Welcome back. Let's discuss tax now. Well, that's not a very friendly topic for a lot of people and businesses. We just talked about the finance bill, and we saw that the service sector has about 30% of its profits to pay as tax. But let's look at Lagos now, as we have the Chief Compliance Officer of Lagos Inland Revenue Service, Mr. Abidin Akonde, joining us here in the studio. Good morning, Mr. Akonde. Thank you for your time.
Good morning, Ini.
I'm sure a lot of people are not your friend. You guys just want to take our money and take our money and take our money. But tell me, what's the relationship here in Lagos when you talk about tax compliance, both businesses and individuals? What's the relationship and the communication mood?
Now, essentially, Lagos has been very lucky in the sense that, like I always say, the cup is half full in Lagos, not half empty. And we've had a succession of administration that have reformed the tax administration process. And we have normally engaged the public, that is a tax-paying public. And I can say, yes, we are not where we should be, but we are definitely much better off than most of the other entities in the country in terms of coverage and then in terms of depth of our tax net. So that's why over the years, we had a sort of what you can call a steady increase in terms of coverage, in terms of compliance, and then also in terms of the revenue that we've been able to generate in Lagos State through taxes. And people can see what their tax revenue is being used for in Lagos.
Can we really see?
Yeah.
Well, give us an idea of the percentage of Lagosians, businesses, individuals that are actively paying their tax.
Okay, in Lagos, what we have in the tax net will be in the region of, because don't forget that at the state level, we only deal with individuals, not company tax. So the companies that you have in Lagos that are paying taxes to Lagos are not actually paying taxes to Lagos. They are actually acting as agents of government to collect taxes from their employees and pay to government, to Lagos State. So companies pay to the Federal Inland Revenue Service, to the Federation account. So it's the individuals. And in Lagos, we have between around 5 million taxpayers. But we expect that for a population of 24 million or thereabout, we should have close to 8 million in the tax net. So that tells you the kind of percentage we have. That would be in the range of 60–65%. Yeah.
Yeah, because we've been talking a whole lot about innovations and technology in the tax space. We expect that to have really expanded the tax, and then perhaps we'll not be having this addition on the finance bill, where, a lot of businesses are scared. If we had those technology really making the impact that is expected and gathering more people into the tax space.
Now, Ine, let me tell you, you see, all over the world, tax administrators have only two basic challenges: the width of their tax net and its depth. Width in the sense of putting all taxable entities, individuals and corporate entities, in the net, and then also the adequacy of whether those people that are in the net are paying adequately as per the law. So in Nigeria, what we have, the main challenge we have is that we have even identity management challenges. So we estimate that there are 24 million people in Lagos. Can we uniquely identify all those people? The answer is out there in the field. Do you understand? So, but we are getting there gradually. Lagos has LASRA, Nigeria has NIMSI, and those are the ones that we are partnering with to be able to uniquely identify each and every resident in Lagos. Now, another aspect of it is that who are those taxable? We are not taxing individuals, we are taxing the income or profits of those entities. Income in terms of what you have in your pocket for the individuals and profit for the companies. But how do you determine that if people don't file their returns?
So that's why we have this deadline that is on the 31st.
Very well. Very well.
So the innovation, I believe, has gotten to, I know in Lagos, we've had conversations about how it's now virtual online, so it's easier for people to
because what we have in Lagos for the past, this is about the 4th iteration of this filing schedule, where all filings in Lagos is done electronically. We don't do manual filing. So it is electronic, and it means it's easier to actually work with the figures. Because what the Constitution says, I'll let you know, is that every citizen of Nigeria is supposed to honestly declare his or her income and pay taxes due. So what we are doing is to enable those individuals to do what is right. But don't forget, what the campaign which we are having now relates to only those people in employment. That is it is the employers of labor that will now say, this is how much I've paid Mr. X, Mr. Y last year. From January to December 2022, I've paid Mr. A 100 naira. So we file it. Mr. A is expected to file his own returns latest by 31st of March this year. So when he files, he's supposed to declare, from my company X, I was paid 100 naira. Then we can check. Do you understand? So that's the essence of filing, because if you don't have data or statistics, there's no way you can actually get people to do the right thing.
You know, one thing I see here, and a conversation I had over the weekend, is the issue of trust.
Yeah, there's deficit of trust.
Yes, issue of trust. Because if I voluntarily have to do that, it means I trust the system enough to do what they say they would do, so I am now ready and happy to do what I am supposed to do, which is where tax evasion comes in.
Now like I told you, for you to be a citizen of this country, you have subscribed to one thing. And the foundational requirement is that we all believe that we are subscribed to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And it says clearly that this is what you are expected to do. So the laws that we have, the tax laws, are just riding on that constitutional provision that you must, because it's essentially what you call a self-assessment system. That's the tax system we have in Nigeria, where you will voluntarily say, this is how much I earned last year, and this is how much I've paid as tax, and this is how much I'm expected to pay, and I've paid it. So it's for the tax authority to say, okay, let's look through our books and see whether what you have said you've done is actually correct, and then we can tell you, oh, you have paid adequate taxes, so go home, you get your tax clearance certificate that you have good. Oh, no, there's a short payment of 3 naira, please come and pay 3 naira. Or there's an overpayment of 2 naira, and then we can say, oh, do you want us to hold the 2 naira for you against your liability subsequently, or we give you a credit for it?
What if I ignore you or ignore all of this?
Then there's a penalty for it. There's a penalty if you don't. Now, the campaign which we are running now, like I said, it's for the employers to declare that this is how much they pay their employees. If the employers fail to declare, then they are liable to 500,000 naira on conviction. If it's an individual, that is, if it's a sole proprietorship that employed people in their shops and fail to, the employees that you have there, your staff, then you pay 50,000. So it's not about the money itself, but the fact that you have become an ex-convict. And of course, it has its own implications for you as an individual and as an entity. So why do you want to do that? If you have paid somebody 10 naira last year, what does it cost you to just go ahead and declare it?
Well, it's a lot of work for the LIRS for you to start pursuing and finding out you didn't pay, you didn't declare, you know what you are paid. Do you have the ability, do you have the resources to handle such demand? Yeah,
that's why you see, when it was being done manually, it's very, very tortuous and what have you. But now it is e-filing that we have said we should do. So we know, okay, we have A to Z in our tax net, and we can check about maybe 30,000 PAYE operators in Lagos. Do you get it now? How many operators are filed? Which we can see, of course, the system will automatically throw up those people that are filed and those people that have not filed. So we can see easily, unlike when it was being done manually.
Okay. Yes. So what about if an employer declares less than what they pay exactly?
Now,
you can't go into an organization and like that.
Now, you see, the beauty of it is that you see, because what we are doing to do is we are trying to use different sets of information to corroborate each other. So if you have paid me 100 naira, and I know it is 100 naira that was paid to me, so when I'm going to declare, I'm going to declare it is 100 naira was paid to me. But if you under-declare that you paid only 90 naira to me, and I said it was 100 naira, then we will know. So once we know, there's the issue of what you can call, there's false declaration. It's different from what you can call an error when you make a mistake. That is, it's not intentional. So there's a provision in the law for that as well, that if you make a mistake in terms of the declaration, the filing that you did, we are now saying it's not, but if you must have a very valid excuse for making the mistake. If you don't have a valid excuse for making the mistake, then there's a price to pay. The price to pay for is 20,000 naira plus double the amount of tax that is due on the under-declared income for your, you understand now? So you pay, if you have under-declared, say 10 naira, and the tax on that is 2 naira, then you will pay 4 naira plus 20,000.
So all of this is supposed to deter people from doing the wrong thing.
Yes.
But one motivation is, let's see what the taxes are doing, then we'll be motivated.
Yeah, the motivation is this, like I keep telling people as well, is in Lagos, you see things are happening. Maybe we should do more of engagement and enlightenment, both by the tax authority as well as the state government, so that people can see that it is not federal allocation that is giving you all the things that you see in Lagos. It is the taxes that are being paid by those people that are responsible citizens and residents of Lagos. So when people see that the roads that are being repaired, the bridges that are being built, the jetties that are being provided, the schools and the hospitals that are open, the schools that were open even when ASU was on strike, it's from people's salaries and income that taxes were paid, that Lagos was able to pay the lecturers of LASU, and they didn't go on strike. See, it is all this information that we need to put in the public space, that people will know that the government is doing what it should do. It can do more, I agree. But I think it's what we should see in Lagos is that, given the circumstances of our operations here, I think we are doing fairly good, but we can do better.
All right, Mr. Akonde, Abidin Akonde, Chief Compliance Officer with Lagos Inland Revenue Service, thank you so much for your time. We'll hold you up to that conversation, that communication, you know, to convince the taxpayers that this is what your money is doing, so we need you to pay more.
Thank you. It's Lagos State Internal Revenue Service.
Internal, beg your pardon.
Inland for the federal.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Akonde, and do have a great day.
You too. Take care. Thank you.
Okay, so it's Lagos Internal Revenue Service. Please pardon my error there. That was the tax master, tax compliance master, we'll call him. And he's trying to convince us that indeed that tax you pay is not for nothing. That is being used for some of the construction and some of those things you see on the road. Guess that should be enough motivation for us to keep paying the tax. But of course, as the media, we're here to always talk to the government and ask them what they are doing with your money. That's why you have us here, and that's why you watch us, and we'll continue to bring those conversations.